Hey there, YouTube. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but inspiration strucketh at me today. And I decided that I would come on here and make a video for you all, and hopefully you'll enjoy it, and hopefully you find it funny. So if you do, smash that like button, and go ahead and subscribe, because I'm not the only one who makes content on this channel. If you're into gaming or basketball stuff, you should go ahead and subscribe, because my husband makes videos too. Anyway, so, intro out of the way. My video today is going to be talking about, obviously, as the title suggests, the Masters, because everybody's talking about Masters Week. Everybody's talking about stuff in that area. Everybody's talking about golf and all that, and it's literally the only week that I ever hear people talking about golf as much as they do. So, being that that is the case, I made a 3-minute video on TikTok talking about my opinion about the Masters / promo for my sister. Now, I was going to do like a part 2 to that video and explain my point about it, but I came to the conclusion that there is too much to talk about, and I can't fit it into a 3-minute video. So I decided to come on here and make this video for you guys, and hopefully you find it entertaining, because I know that this topic is a fun one for me to talk about. So, as some people may know, I was born in Augusta. I was raised in Augusta. Almost just recently have I moved to Texas. I'm not going to say where, because privacy, but I used to live in Augusta. Now, to anybody who is not familiar with the Masters and not familiar with Augusta, the Masters is like the finals of golf. I don't know much about it. I've never thought to ask about it, but that's what it's like to me. It's like a week of nonstop golf, and like that's the only thing that Augusta is known for, mainly because it's the second biggest city in Georgia, next to Atlanta, but nobody cares about it until it's Masters Week. It's a cool place, you know. The Grovetown and Evans are cool. However, Augusta as a whole, it's kind of, there's places in the world, there's places in America where old people go to settle down and like retire and all of that stuff. And those are the kind of cities that don't really have anything to do. You know, it's like mostly country. There's like a bowling alley or a movie theater and a small mall, but there's not really anything else to do out there. Augusta is where the cool and hip old people go to retire. Because I will say that there are a lot of fun things to do if you are, like, it's not Atlanta or any popular city, right? Like I said, the only reason that people know about it is because of the Masters. And that's like a very long stretch, because not everybody cares about golf. But I have seen multiple videos on my TikTok For You page talking about how people from Augusta must love this week. The Masters look so fun. And like, yeah, it looks fun on paper and on camera, but it's not. It's hell. To anybody who's lived in Augusta for a lengthy period of time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody will always say, oh, the Masters looks like it's so much fun. And us Augustan people are just like, no, it's literally hell. I said this in my video on TikTok, anybody who is not working the Masters or has sense has left the city. Because nobody wants to be in Augusta during Masters Week. That's why they make that our spring break. Right? Because, like, everywhere else, spring break has already happened. But for Augusta, spring break is Masters Week for kids. No. And the reason is because there is an influx of people who who show up in Augusta who are just there for the Masters. During that week, like, the city is flooded with people, and it's the only time that it is, right? Because, and of course you have events that people will come down for. Arts in the Heart is something that people come down for quite a bit. I've been to Arts in the Heart myself, and it's very nice. A lot of events that happen at the James Brown Arena, like, when you come into the Augusta airport, that's the first thing that you see. James Brown stuff. And, like, that's well and good. But, like, the Masters, nobody who lives in Augusta or has lived in Augusta likes the Masters. Now, here are my points about that, right? Because, obviously, the Masters is good money. Like, the entire week of the Masters is just a cash grab for most people. Like, kids who are in high school and able to work, or kids who are just coming out of high school and not yet going into college, most of them will go and work the Masters because it is good money. Anybody who has, like, a food truck business or, like, vendor stuff, they'll go work the Masters because it's good money. Shameless promo from my sister, Sugar and Spice Cocktails. If anybody is in Augusta right now and looking for some good cocktails, she's working the Masters this week. So, yeah. She also has an Instagram, which I will link in the description. So, like I said, Sugar and Spice Cocktails, shameless promo for my sister because I love her and I want her to get more business because she's awesome. If you want good cocktails, go see her because she's working the Masters this week. So, like I said, the Masters is good money. Like, people rent out their houses and rooms in their houses. Most people will rent out their entire house because the money that they get from that will help them leave the city. But the reason that people will rent out rooms and rent out their houses and stuff like that is because every hotel in the city is booked. I'm not even joking you with that. Every single hotel in the city is completely booked out. Because there's so many people who come down for the Masters. And, like, even some hotels in Atlanta are booked for the Masters. I won't say all of them because Atlanta is a very big place. And people come to Atlanta for all kinds of reasons. Whatever the case may be, which is why Atlanta is always so fucking crowded and why we never fucking go. Like I was saying, the Masters is good money. And so it looks fun on camera and on paper. But it's no longer fun when every hotel in the city is completely booked out. It's no longer fun when you can't go to the movies because every single seat in the movie theater is booked out. It is no longer fun when every nice restaurant in Augusta is completely full almost every single night, and it takes like 2 hours to get a table. When you go to there's lots of nice restaurants in Augusta. Miyabi's, Cheddar's, O'Charlie's. There's probably a couple more that I'm not thinking about. Anyway, all of the nice restaurants in Augusta, they're completely full, and it's going to take you like 2 hours to get a table. And Miyabi's is a really good restaurant. I love going there. I miss Miyabi's so much. However, you have to make a reservation to go to Miyabi's. And most of the time, it's fine to get a reservation. You can get a reservation the next day and there won't be a problem. Miyabi's is not always packed, but you do have to get a reservation. You cannot get a reservation for Miyabi's during Masters Week because every single day, completely booked. Miyabi's is only open for dinner, so it is completely booked. You cannot go to Miyabi's during Masters Week unless you have made the reservation like 3 to 5 months in advance. You might as well make your reservation if you're going to go to Miyabi's during Masters Week. You might as well make your reservation the prior year. In December, make your reservation for the Masters Week if you're going to Miyabi's, because there is no possible way that you're going to get a reservation otherwise. It's always booked because it's one of the nicest restaurants in Augusta. It's a bar, it's a grill, it's a hibachi grill. Like, people go there all the fucking time. And I understand why. Believe me, I do. I used to love going to Miyabi's. Whenever we got the chance to go to Miyabi's, that was always the most special thing. Anybody who's seen my older posts on Instagram knows that Miyabi's was the time that we posted the most because there was nothing else really that we could post about besides whatever stuff people posted about in 2016, 17, 18. But I digress. So that's one of the main points about the Masters is there's so many people that come down for it, and like it's cool on paper and on camera, but when you've actually lived in Augusta for a lengthy period of time, it sucks. Because anybody who, like I said, anybody who is not working the Masters and has sense has left the city. Nobody wants to be in Augusta during Masters Week. That's why they make it our spring break. That's why our spring break was later than everybody else. And we were always so mad about that until we learned, oh, it's hell. So, my main point here is that while, yes, the Masters is good money for anybody who wants it, and while, yes, it looks fun on paper and on camera, it's not. And if people in Augusta can't afford to leave the city at that time, which does happen quite a lot, to my utter dismay, then they will have done everything in advance. They will have gotten their groceries in advance. They will have paid any bill that they have to pay in person, they've paid it early. You know, because nobody wants to go out during Masters Week. Delivery drivers in Augusta, big cash grab. Vendors in Augusta, big cash grab. Kids who want more money, big cash grab. People who want to rent out their houses, big cash grab. But otherwise, it's hell. Because anybody who actually likes golf, obviously is going to want to go to the Masters. But most of the time, the only people in Augusta who actually are there for the Masters, they're not always people who are from Augusta. The one and only time I ever went anywhere near where the Masters was being held, I did not meet a single person who lived in Augusta at that time. Not one single person. You want to know why? Because every single person who lives in Augusta that is not working the event has left. Like, here's another thing, too. For any military people, it's a little bit better. Because people who live on Fort Gordon, you know, Fort Gordon is gated. You have to have a military ID or a visitor's pass or a valid visitor's pass to get in. So, you know, the military base is not as packed. Fort Gordon is not as packed as Augusta, as the rest of Augusta during Masters Week, just because you have to have a military ID or a valid visitor's pass to get on. Now, I will say that there are some people who come onto base that are, you know, for the Masters Week and stuff like that. But it's not many. It's not many at all. And the very few times that my family was able to leave the city for Masters Week, we went down to Florida. That was what we did. Because we never stayed in Georgia. We didn't want to. Everywhere near Augusta was completely flooded with people. South Carolina, North Augusta, flooded with people. Friggin', like, even into Grovetown and Evans, people, like, it was flooded with people. Because, like I said, every hotel in the city is booked out. You cannot get a reservation unless, like, it takes months to make your reservation for the Masters. And even then, it's hard to get a reservation for a hotel room in Augusta during Masters Week. Pretty much as soon as the Masters are over, people are starting to book their hotel for next year. That's how bad it is. And, like, the few times that we were able to leave the city, we went to Florida. And, you know, I think that only happened like 3 times. I'm going to be honest. The second time, one time it was Universal, but the other 2 times it was Disney. And I was very fortunate to be able to do that because my family I did not grow up with a lot of money. That's a video that I could make another day, probably in the future. But the 2 times that I went to Disney, I stayed at this hotel called Shades of Green. And that hotel is exclusively for active duty military people and retirees. And it's not on any Disney map. Like, if you go into a Disney park and ask for a map of the Disney parks and the hotels around the Disney parks, you will not find Shades of Green on the map. That's intentional. Because it's a military hotel. People don't want, like, nobody wants their military hotel to be revealed because there are things that could happen. So, I'm not going to say where Shades of Green is. I'm not going to say what hotels it's between. I'm not going to say which park it's nearest to. I'm not going to say any of that. If you want to know, you would have to be military, active duty or retired. That's all I can say. So, what would be so funny, both times that we went to Shades of Green during Masters Week, 95% of the people that you met there were people from Augusta. And they were there for the exact same reason that we were. Get away from the Masters, get away from the craziness of Augusta during Masters Week. That was like it, you know? I'm not even kidding you. I met so many people, like military people from Augusta, because nobody wants to be, like, anytime you're at a hotel in Florida during Masters Week, there's about a 0.5% chance that you are going to meet somebody who lives in Augusta, because smart people who are not working don't want to be there. It's an okay city until it's Masters Week. Then it's hell. It's complete and utter hell. And, like, oh my goodness, almost 18 minutes. This is why I said I could not make these points in a 3-minute video. I could not. Because there are too many points to talk about with this. So, like I said, both times I went to Shades of Green and I was staying there during Masters Week, 95% of the people that I met were also from Augusta, and they were there for the exact same reason that I was. Get away from the Masters, because nobody wants to be there. That has sense and doesn't care about golf. Because if you don't care about golf, if you don't care about golf, I cannot see why you would stay in Augusta during that week. I can't, because anytime, like, even if we couldn't go to Florida, we tried to get out of the city. Because nobody wants to be in the city during that week, unless you're working or you have an unhealthy obsession with golf. And, like, I don't really know what else to say about that, you know? Because, like, I've seen so many videos talking about Augustan people during Masters Week, and they have, like, their Masters hat on. Yeah, the old rich dads who live in the upper part of Augusta in the popular areas. Those are the people who are doing that, but anybody else? Not really, no. I, unfortunately, never got the chance to work the Masters. I don't know how good I would have done with that, but my friend Haley did. My friend Haley worked the Masters one year, and she said that she made so much money, and I was so jealous, and I told myself while I was growing up in Augusta, one year, I'm going to go and work the Masters so that I can bring back a lot of money for myself. And I was never able to do that, especially once I had a kid. And when my husband came down to Georgia, we still always tried to be out of the city during that week, because nobody else wanted to be there. And if we had to stay in the city, like I said, we paid every bill early. we got our groceries early, and we stayed inside the fucking house. Because we didn't want to go out, because traffic was terrible. And it sucked. It was absolutely terrible. So yeah, that's mainly what this video is about. The Masters looks fun on paper and on camera, but for anybody who has lived in Augusta for a lengthy period of time, it's hell. And anybody who has sense has left the city. They have left. Nobody's there. The city is mostly barren. If you go into the, if you're not in downtown, because like downtown Augusta too is completely, absolutely crazy. And like, it's terrible. It's so terrible. And I will say, I do miss Augusta in a few senses. I miss Miyabi's. I miss the Riverwalk in downtown. I miss Bo Weevil's, which is a little cafe slash bakery place that is in downtown. It's near the Riverwalk for anybody who wants to go there. I think it's near the Marriott. No, it's not. But it is near a hotel. I just don't remember which one. And don't even, like, ooh, that reminds me, don't even try and make a reservation at the Marriott in downtown Augusta for the Masters Week. You will not get one. People are booking their Masters Week, like, oh my god. People will literally, I've literally heard somebody say, I booked my hotel for the Marriott for Masters Week while the Masters was still going on. Like, that's, people will literally make their reservations for the Masters Week for the next year while the Masters for this year is still going on. That's how bad it is, especially the Marriott, because it's like it's the nicest hotel in Augusta. Obviously, it's a Marriott. Now that there's 2 more Marriotts in Augusta, everybody is friggin' over there. And the 2 Marriotts that are newer, they're near the popular area, which fucking sucks for people who want to go to the movies. It fucking sucks for people who want to go to restaurants and do all that kind of stuff. Even for people who want to go to the YMCA, it sucks, because the YMCA is right there near the Marriotts. So it's fucking dead. So it's like, during that week, you might find a lot more people there, because I don't know how YMCA memberships work. If you get a YMCA membership, if you're able to use it in multiple cities, I don't know how that works. But if that is the case, YMCA is gonna be like an influx of people too. And like, ugh. It's terrible. It's terrible. I'm pretty sure that they only added those 2 Marriotts because of how many people come down to Augusta for the freaking Masters. Like, that's the only reason I can think that they even ever added those extra 2 Marriotts. And they're right next to each other. So, it's terrible. It's so terrible. And I can't imagine anybody, I've never met anybody who has ever said, oh yeah, I'm going down to Augusta for the Masters. Why? Are you working? Or are you just crazy? Because that's the only thing that I can think of. You're either working it or you're crazy. Nobody likes the Masters. Except for people who do. And that's not a very big portion of people. Oh my god. This topic has just sparked so much insanity in my life over the many years that I've lived in Augusta, because everybody just swarms it. And like, ugh. I can't even describe to you the amount of annoyance. Like, if I even stepped outside my house to get the mail, I was scared that it was gonna, I won't say I was scared. That's the wrong word for it. I was just being like, I don't want to be out here. I want to get the mail. I want to go back inside. I want to get the mail. I want to go back inside. When I had to walk the dog, same friggin' thing. I told my friends, no, I'm not going out this week. I'm not coming over this week. I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm staying in the house. I'm staying in the house. The house was my best friend during the Masters Week. if we were in the city, if we had to be in the city because we couldn't afford to leave the city for the week, like, especially that first day of Masters. Don't even try and go anywhere in Augusta. Don't. Fucking don't. Like, just fucking don't. Don't do it. Don't do it. If I rant anymore about this, I'm gonna start yelling, and it's gonna become a tangent. So I'm gonna stop this video now, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye before I go off on a fucking tangent about this, because it makes me so vehemently angry. And it's not even a good reason to be angry, so I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Like I said, make sure you smash that like button, press subscribe, because I do videos sometimes. Not all the time. You might go like 5 months, maybe even a year without getting any content from me. But you'll get content from my husband. And then one day, inspiration will strike me again, and I'll make a video. But until that day happens, go ahead and subscribe. Ring the bell so you'll be notified when I do make a fucking video, because it's just... yeah, it's fun, but it's not. So, like I said, smash the like button, press subscribe, press the little bell so you'll be notified when I do make content. And so you can instantly like it, because why wouldn't you? Okay, I'll see you guys in the next video.